Oh. Oh, hey, Pifferkins.
You.
We're live.
Do you know when I said that, oh, that's fine.
Are we live?
Okay.
We're
Hello.
live.
How I said that I loved the Spider-Man combat, and it had some depth to it, but maybe not as much as Arkham.
Yeah.
I'm revising that statement because I just wasn't trying hard enough. There's a lot you can do.
Yeah.
And
That's
you do,
right, Wally.
You do have to pull up a menu to change your gadgets, but it pauses while you do it. So It's slightly more annoying than like the quickfire Batman stuff, but you can do it on the fly. I wasn't good. I had to get good.
I see.
Love,
And
I don't want to alarm you, but I think Wally knows you're here. I don't think they're like Tyrannosaurus Rex. I don't think not moving, they can't see. I think he knows he's literally right there. So, let's get started, shall we?
Okay.
Welcome, everybody. When last we left, our crew of the Second Chance, who has not been on the Second Chance for months, are dealing with some shit.
Interesting way to put it.
It's, it's not like the worst day you've ever had, but it's not ranking pretty high, I would think.
Yeah.
You have gotten back to find out that Vector, you've been betrayed by Beatrice and Gloop. They have broken somehow. They or other people have broken Vector out of jail, and Vector now has a vendetta to not only destroy you guys, but basically to destroy everything associated with you, because the man holds a grudge like no other. He's like an evil Batman, and you killed his parents.
We just put him in jail, though.
I know,
So,
right?
normal Batman.
Maybe you should talk to Paul about what kind of jail he runs in.
Jesus. What would Pa actually clone his parents and then kill them in front of him?
No, he made it somewhat clear in
cruel.
the video that in prison is not something he is, I was going to say fond of, but that puts it very lightly. In any case, whatever the reason, he is hell-bent on destroying you, and is hell-bent on doing it by basically trying to collect anyone who has a beef with you, which he's already enacted several things. He set your father and sister loose upon your group,
No.
telling them, not incorrectly, exactly, that their target was with you, their target being Kid and Anna's mother. You were able to defuse the situation. Yes, you were able to defuse the situation and actually find a possible ally out of them. Possible, because I say their motivations are still largely unknown. And you guys discussed for quite some time what to do from here and where to go, only to realize after said discussion that maybe the room's bugged. And you found out the room was bugged. That said, I believe when we last left off last session, the group had decided that first objective 1 is to get back to the Second Chance, get back to Frontier Station, make sure everything's okay there. And the best way to do that would be to have Cyber 6 pay for tickets on a ship to be the apparent route you're taking, and then use Gateland to teleport to a nearby planet and get transportation from there, of which you found one that's about a 5-day journey from Frontier Station. It's a small mining colony that's large enough to have what you're looking for transportation-wise. I believe when we last left last session, Lucas was about to spread some disinformation through the bug. Did you guys discuss what you wanted to?
Oh yeah, we have a Google Doc.
Are we even done?
We're not really
Not
done.
really. So we're going to talk vaguely about certain things and very specific about others.
Yeah. So we have some fake weaknesses. Anna has a phobia of crickets. Anna is also extremely clumsy. while Isaac is resistant to electricity, he is not resistant to magical electricity. And he also is highly allergic to those horny sea worms we encountered.
Okay.
On Palladium, they give him bad stomach stuff.
All right, you're gonna have to. Can you?
I
is that
already
written
threw it in
down?
the text.
Can you forward that to me?
It's already in
yeah,
general
we got
text.
that in there.
Oh, perfect. Because wait, got that in where?
We're still adding.
And 3 gal text, sorry.
Oh,
Yeah, 3
perfect.
Galaxies in Discord.
Oh,
Access denied.
Oh, what?
I
What
think somebody
happened?
switched it to view only. Something?
switch what?
Oh, I switched that link to view only.
That's the
What?
link. The one link.
Oh,
switched the
I'm in the
entire-
wrong. I am in the wrong chat.
Yeah, you are.
It's okay. I'm not going to change anything here. It can be
Perfect.
easily.
Perfect.
We'll edit it later.
I was in general chat and I'm like, that is not what I am seeing here. Perfect. Nice. I'm glad to have these. This will make things because I want to make sure I at least get this right because you rolled a natural 20.
The most important one is Lucas
Mm-hmm.
hates poachers and poached eggs.
Right. So Lucas, like that would be the majority of your roll 20 is just convincing them
Fuck poachers.
and poached eggs.
And poachers.
So as we got, I think just reading this off to the chat would be very important because
Yes, I will go ahead and do it. So, we will say, and we could do this narratively because Lucas rolled extremely well, and he did have advantage, I believe, from Anna, to try and not only change his voice but to deceive the bug. So they found that the room was bugged, and the room had probably been bugged for quite some time, which means that Vector or whoever's listening knows quite a lot about them. And a method of combating this is that Anna was able to discover the bug in such a way that the bug has not been compromised. So as far as whoever's listening on the other end knows, you don't know about it. So you want to spread disinformation by, and with your role, Lucas, of course, you would do this excellently. Not just going out there and listing a bunch of information, but just making sure it comes up. How long would you spend doing this?
Oh, we got a lot of information to go through.
Right, but I'm saying, like, would you spread this out over a couple of days or just in one session? What would you do?
Oh, couple days.
This needs a couple days.
Okay,
yeah,
a couple days. Then.
Okay, sure. So over the next couple of days, you stage conversations with proposed allies. You have sessions, fake planning sessions about what you want to do and what could Vector possibly know and all kinds of things, including one. They suggest that one of your allies cannot come in contact with a specific item. Don't make clear why.
These were guidelines. I think our actual things are.
Yeah.
Oh,
start
okay,
at fake
gotcha.
witnesses.
Okay,
guys,
so I'll start with
I'm
fake
showing.
weaknesses.
I'm showing it. I'm streaming this.
Gotcha. So fake weaknesses. Anna has a phobia to crickets. Anna is super clumsy. Isaac is highly allergic to horny sea worms. They give him bad stomach issues. Isaac is resistant to electricity, except if created with magic. Lucas hates poachers and poached eggs. Is that false, though, Lucas? Do you not hate poachers, and do you love poached eggs?
See,
Good.
Look,
You're ambivalent to
saying
poachers.
that I not hate poachers.
Just because I happen to have a bunch of poachers planned in your future.
Okay.
I just want to make sure that you.
If we get an army of poachers.
It's just like Lucas attacks him. Like, hey, Lucas, you told me.
This was a very serious conversation making this talk.
This was one of those things where people started putting in things for me, and I was like, no, leave that one.
Yeah.
Meat is good bait to use for Kid. Right, Kid does not like meat. Crackers would have been better. Yeah, Kid doesn't like meat, right?
Didn't know that.
Kid mostly eats seaweed, crackers, and things of that nature. I don't know, Kid. I don't know if you ever answered that. I don't know if Kid just doesn't eat meat at all, or it's just not their favorite food.
What? No, Kid eats meat. Like they're just they can eat pretty much anything. They're just picky.
Got you. All I know is that when Kid has been eating, it has almost never been meat.
And the seaweed is not for Kid. The
That's
seaweed
true.
is for
Yeah,
the
it's for
frill.
Frill.
Kids, it's the crackers mostly.
Yes, because crackers are
Um,
good.
Loves crackers.
Loves crackers, especially animal crackers.
Let's see. Fake
Gotta
allies.
bite the heads off so that they don't scream at you.
Fake allies, an inside man, woman, robot for info. Okay,
Yeah, we were
I'm
thinking-
gonna.
We were working on it. It's
We're
still
still
working.
working on
Yeah.
it. Still work in progress.
That one was more just like we're hoping that like basically the underground black market is so vast and vague and all that other stuff. If we just basically say like we're going to get some things from a name, they're just going to have a hard time finding a thing that doesn't exist.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Here's what I would like then over the next week or so. Flesh that out a bit, right? Because I will actually need a name and whatever information that you guys think. And this will be perfect because you guys are basically making it up because you don't really know, so that's fine. You might get lucky. Hang on a second.
This was like an hour before session started.
Yeah.
We pulled each other and was like, we haven't done anything.
Yeah.
I've been basically asking around and trying to find like good things and whatnot, but yeah.
Right. Hang on one second.
I don't know how many jokes stayed.
Oh God. Yeah. We did a lot of joking around.
I think we deleted most of the jokes.
Yeah.
You guys, I was working hard on my.
You were
backstory.
doing fair.
I was trying to come up with good things to like things that Isaac hates.
That's fine. So we'll say that this was disseminated in a convincing manner over the bug. Over the next week, if you guys want to, and I'll give a deadline of before next session. Does that seem fair?
Yeah.
Give me details for anything that you are lacking details. Places in the past, exactly. Like, tell me what places. Swamp Island, where we got Finn. Oh, there's some elderly hermit we met who, like, yeah. So fill this in for me for next week, because the details in this particular example are very important.
Yeah, didn't realize we'd be going over this in stream.
That's fine.
I feel like I showed up to class and it's like, we're doing presentations today. And it's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Oh,
Did everyone do their homework? Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm gonna bomb it, but that's fine. I'll just turn it in. All right.
I sure have
Presentation
done a
day.
presentation like that. I think I went up and went, didn't know I was presenting today? Here's random bullshit. Have fun.
I just want to highlight the fake enemies. Like, just jump over there. The first one, Thor, God of Thunder, is our biggest enemy. And you remember Joe? I'm pretty sure the name was Joe or John. The
It was
dude.
Joe.
It was Joe.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know who you're thinking about.
Yeah.
Joe, that the person that Lucas had a wall of webbed threads leading to
Yes,
Joe in his
him.
room.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's our enemy.
Oh, all right.
Oh yeah, we're gonna put down that he's our enemy. Good luck finding him, fucker.
Yeah, because we couldn't find him, and he's an Atlantean. So if they actually do find him and go, hey, we need you to go after these guys, he'll probably go, who are these guys? Who are you? And contact us.
I mean, it might at least waste some time and resources.
That was
Yeah.
the main goal behind most of these.
What about Charles? No, don't even mention him. We don't speak of that day.
That is all you're going to get for that.
Yep. all you're gonna
That one civilization in the middle of fucking nowhere who we sent the stranger danger thing to.
Yeah.
But that's not a fake enemy.
But it will waste their time.
Yeah, it'll waste their time.
Gotcha.
Oh shit, sweet.
No.
There's an entire planet that hates these people? Fantastic. Let's go and talk to them.
Yes.
They go.
It's just the wrong.
Yes, Piph.
This is important. I've spent quite a bit of time on this one.
Yeah, the Lucas
The backstory?
Backstory.
So, backstory that Lucas would have shared over the course of the few days. I woke up in a tube next to others like me, half man, half animal, battling for dear life. We took control of the ship, stranded on the seas, and no knowledge of who we were. One of the two felines started messing with the controls. Before we could stop her, the boat started revving and turning towards a blinking red dot on an electric map. We all had hidden skills. driving, diving, riding, lockpicking, fighting. All of us were compelled to do our individual abilities when we could. To find our past, we agreed to continue to our original destination, the Red Dot. We journeyed towards our truth. Who were we? Where did we come from? Why are we here? Hitting land, we found that people screamed at us, ran from us until we could not see or hear them anymore. Outcasts, we hid from the masses while waiting for a chance to move. But before we could, an underground group called the Hand Clan, marked by their open palm sigil, found us. Surrounding our little group, they gave us a choice. Try to survive on our own, or join them. Being a Hand member was good until we betrayed them. That day, ... another group broke in and tried to win us over. The two groups fought and blood was spilled. I could not take it anymore and ran. Slowly, over time, I became more and more human, but I'll never forget those who were with me and my rhino origins.
That's why you hate poachers.
I know what this is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. It's a good thing. And then we have kids' fake siblings. Roby,
I
Muno,
get the reference.
Ufa, Flex.
Yes, but do
2D.
you get my my reference?
Reference?
I can
Groby.
talk.
A small and incredibly dangerous with massive arms that can stretch out and sweep clean a battlefield. Muno, towering beast covered in scales and spikes and a singular eye that bores into your soul. Fufa, a powerful plant-based being. Flex had been mostly replaced with cybernetic parts by the time that Kid had left the labs. 2D, one of the few who rival Kid's mental prowess and incredible dexterity. They are the most successful assassin to come from any of Kid's siblings. I'm not sure I'm hitting the reference on these, but they are amazing. So, over the next couple of days, this information is disseminated over the bug. Unfortunately, given the nature of said things, you have no idea yet how helpful it may or may not be. What even are those?
Those are kid siblings.
Yeah, okay.
Oh my god, I did it.
Oh,
Okay.
I haven't thought about that show in years.
What? Yo Gabba Gabba are kids' siblings.
I told you I was gonna pull from a kids show.
I like
Oh,
to think
you
that this is
did.
the like there's a sketch artist on the other end, and this is basically what they came up with. Oh
Holy
boy!
shit, that's
All
great.
right. So, like I said, over the next couple of days, you guys disseminate that information, and we'll say 3 days. You discuss, you make plans, you make it very clear that you're going to head back to Frontier Station aboard a passenger ship. And then do you say when you're going to leave, or do you like basically make it the same day but you just go a different direction?
Oh boy.
I feel like we did
crafty
decide
tafty
this.
are we?
We did decide this. Like say, hey, we're gonna leave here, then we're gonna take the thing there, and then like leave through the gateland.
Right. I'm just
You
saying.
know what?
So,
Yeah. Leaving at the
Mhm.
same time would make sense, so we're not still seen in
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Frontier Center. I don't remember where we are.
Center.
Yeah, because just in case they have eyes on us. I mean, they're gonna see us through the gateland anyways, if they have eyes on us. But if they're like following us and making sure, okay, so they left here from where we had the bug during this date, and they have the tickets, so they're probably on this ship.
All right.
You know what I mean?
can also roll a tailing check.
Yeah, that's true.
Sure. We'll do that when we get there. So you guys are staying there 3 days. Anything over the course of that 3 days that you would want to note or do?
Get fresh clothes and probably a set of like at least one gun.
Easy enough. Clothes. If you're talking about regular clothes, you're talking about maybe 100 credits for an outfit.
'Kay.
That's Anna. 200 credits for an outfit. You're
What are
not
you talking about?
slumming
She
it.
wears tank tops and like sports
Right.
bras.
But you're not going to like Pluto's closet.
What?
I don't know if that may not be a
No.
thing outside of
No.
Texas. That's like
No.
secondhand clothing store.
You're
now
off.
that
You're talking to the Canadian.
Oh my god.
You guys just need to move to Texas, and then you'll understand all my
I'm
references.
not moving to Texas.
Do you know what the Salvation Army is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, it's like that.
It's
No,
like that, but high end.
I'll say this. No, I'll say this. If you're buying just normal t-shirt, jeans type things, 100 credits for an outfit. If you're buying nice stuff, and that includes tank tops, because there are nice tank tops, 200 credits per outfit.
I'll just say 200. Yeah, I'll go 200.
All
It's
right.
easy enough to delete.
All right. So yeah, you managed to get yourself a couple of outfits. A new gun. What kind of gun? What are you looking for? Pistol, rifle?
Just a rifle.
A rifle. All right. What kind of? And I know this is less important now, but still important. What were you looking for? A laser rifle? A plasma rifle?
Probably a laser one. I think that's what my initial proficiency was for.
Okay. Well, they're both energy rifles, so you could fire
Okay.
both of them. It's basically just what type of damage does it do?
I
One
don't
is
think she's that picky right now.
Gotcha. So I would say probably about 5,000 credits for a decent laser rifle.
Okay.
And you can go ahead and mark that in your inventory.
5,000?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Who else? 3 days.
Well, at the very least, Isaac would try to talk to Sarah.
Sure.
But
Okay. So
we can handle other people's stuff.
Okay. Yeah, we'll come back to that. We'll say this is something that happens during probably the first day after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give it a
All right.
day.
We'll come back to that. So Kid, Lucas.
Well, I would like to transfer the message on this box thing to another thing, so we don't have to lug around a box everywhere with a giant magnet on it.
That is easy enough to do, even though I would not put the box with the magnet too close to your personal computers. You can certainly download it and put it into your personal computer.
Cool. I would like to do that.
Sure. So you get a copy of his video message.
Discard the heavy magnet thing.
Gotcha. Heavy magnet thing discarded. All
Maybe
right.
put it somewhere interesting.
Where would that be?
I would you know what? I'm going to give it to a kid and tell him to play with this with his friends and hide it all over the place.
It's one item. I'm not sure how you could hide it all over the
Just
place.
when they find it,
Make a
hide it
game out of it.
somewhere else. It's a hide and go seek thing.
I will let you know, just so you know. The second this thing attaches to something, those kids are not. It took your kid to remove it, and she didn't remove it so much as took the metal off of the ground. So once they attach it somewhere, I don't think it's moving again for a while.
I'll give it to a kid, say to play with it, and I think I'm going to forget about it.
Sure. All right. Perfect. All right. Kid, what about you?
Kid doesn't really have anything super urgent to take care of.
Fair enough. Well then, we'll say 3 days pass. You guys, on the appointed day, oh no. So first things first. Isaac.
Mm-hmm.
It's the ball's kind of in your court. Sarah spends a lot of time at the hospital. But when she is around, she's usually in one of the rooms studying books. Well, not
Gotcha.
books, but on ebooks on her tablet.
Yeah.
She does spend some time wandering around and whatnot, but usually it's either to or from the hospital.
Yeah. I can tell you right now, Isaac would not go to the hospital because old habits die hard, and
Mhm.
I mean he is technically extremely afraid of vampires and not wanting to deal with them right now.
Gotcha.
So he would probably ask if he could talk with her when she's at the hotel.
She'll put down her ebook and she'll say, sure, okay.
I feel like I should apologize for what I said the other.
I see.
Yes. I come from a place where you live in fear of these beings. And you have to strive and try to survive against them. We had to deal with them in daily lives quite a bit. So
Then you would know how to change one back, right?
see, that's the problem. Where I come from, the level of technology is nowhere near where it is here. And wouldn't try.
Oh. But why? Didn't they take loved ones, family members?
Yes. In fact, one of them tried to take me when I was really young.
And you're telling me that your family wouldn't have tried to turn you back?
No?
I don't want to sound insulting, Isaac, but that sounds monstrous.
It's just a different way of thinking. When you deal with those beings for so long, and there's only you fight and you fight and you fight, and only so many things actually can deal with. Rather just eliminate the problem.
She sits back in her chair.
Now,
So what if Hart was turned into a vampire?
I
And
have
she
no
like
idea.
she looks at Isaac. She says, "Be honest."
I have no idea. I have no idea. I would absolutely kill whoever turned her, but I have no idea. I hope I don't ever run into that situation.
I hope you don't either. But I'm asking so that you can, if not sympathize, maybe empathize with what I'm
I
going through.
I understand. Trust me. But all I was trying to say is it's going to be a hard road, and none of my knowledge helps. None. We didn't try to do this.
She shakes her head. That's not true. That's not true at all. She like picks up the ebook she was reading and she kind of like tabs up a few times and then hands it over to you. Corsair databases are quite thorough. Well, I mean, compared to many other things. But they seem to be quite certain if you kill the master, anyone the master directly turned, anyone that was not turned by their minions or seconds, anyone that was directly made a vampire by the master would become human again, or whatever race they were.
I mean, maybe, but you have to keep in mind that there could be multiple masters, and
I
then
know.
they're whatever controls the masters, because they do their own thing. But
she nods, and maybe a second turned mom. I have no way of knowing, but I have to try.
and we will help you in every way that we can.
I was hoping you would say that. You know how to kill vampires, right?
Yeah.
So, perhaps you could offer an opinion. And she goes over and she opens like the bottom drawer of her dresser, and in it are 13 vials of holy water, a pile of wooden stakes, and several coated silver daggers. This would do it, right?
Yeah, for the most part. The silver and the stakes are kind of the same thing. What you're going to want to do with the silver is try and pierce the heart so that it acts like a stake. There's many things, and he's gonna start going into what works, why it works, because he knows how to kill them,
Mm-hmm.
but he doesn't know how to turn people back.
Sarah like goes, wait, and she goes down and grabs like the e-pad, and then she starts taking notes.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll notice like she's putting notes directly into the Corsair database. Well, at least into her version of it that will sync if and when she ever goes back to Zeberon.
Yeah. And one of the big things he's going to go over is the religious symbols, how they work, why they work, how you can't just take another religion you don't believe in and use it. You need to actually have that belief, etc., etc., etc.
How? I'm sorry. I on Center, I know there are many different religions. I've just never personally. How would I do that?
Well, find something to believe in. I can teach you about Christianity.
I believe in you guys.
Well, we're not gods.
Right. She kind of hesitates. This is hard. All right, maybe later. But she continues taking notes. So she would actually I mean, roll me an insight check.
Okay.
Isaac.
Pull up my character sheet again. Insight. Yeah. There you are. Bam. 10.
All right. It's hard to tell if she accepted the apology or not, but she is no longer focusing on that. She is asking you questions and listening to your answers raptly.
Okay, cool. That way Isaac doesn't feel as much of an asshole as he did before.
Dun dun dun. All right. So with that, on the appointed day of your journey, you guys pack everything up, get ready to go, and excuse me. You guys, I'm assuming you're leaving the bug. You're not touching anything. You're just going. Correct?
Yeah, I think that would be the best, because if we were to touch the bug, then it would alert him to, hey, we know about it. So
makes sense.
Hey, have fun listening to the people who have this room after us have sex.
How do you know the bug wasn't there before you got there?
You could have been anyone's bug.
You just spent 3 days giving the pervert in the next room a lot of weird information. All right.
I was once a rhino.
Lucas
Oh
wants
shit,
the
I found a
rhino.
new fetish.
Yeah, that's my fetish.
Jesus Christ, guys.
So the day of, you guys get your gear together and you start heading out. And as you all are walking towards Gateland, and roll me a what was it? Roll me a
Oh, tailing was what it was in Rifts. What would you want the equivalent to be now?
survival.
Just we all leave out of here.
Really? It'd be survival?
Yeah, survival entails not only just living in the wild and off the land, but also tracking, being tracked, that kind of thing. But no, actually, no, sorry.
Perception?
Yeah. I'm sorry. No, survival would be trying to track someone. This is just looking to see if you're being tracked. It's just a perception check.
Oh, it's just perception? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say, 'cause, like, if that was like one of my highest skills in Rifts, and now that's like one of my lowest.
Right. No. Perception. I'm sorry. It makes much more sense. Just you're looking around.
26.
Oh, okay.
Fantastic.
Yeah, you are fairly certain no one's following you. You know the signs to look for. You know the patterns of even well-trained tailors. People who, look at you indirectly or look like they're shopping or look like they're there for other reasons. You don't see
Suddenly
anything
flirting with
suspicious.
dirty guys.
Exactly. You don't see anything suspicious.
All right.
And as you guys approach Gateland, and it's fairly crowded, there's people coming and going. As you guys are approaching Gateland, Cyber 6 and Indigo stop and they say, I think this is a good place. We should talk.
About?
Indigo and I are headed back to Zebron. We found another Corsair unit operating in the area who's offered to give us a lift. And our opinion is that Vector, whoever this Vector is very good at what he's doing. And we need to split up and cover this from multiple angles. If he is going after your father, we need to try and get to him first. He would not have known about your father until we mentioned it, because, and he shrugs, we never knew. At least, not enough to really give him any information on it, which means there's still a chance we can get to him before Vector does. He doesn't have to be our ally, but at the very least, maybe we can convince him not to be an enemy.
Good luck with that.
Either way, even if we can't convince him of that, we might be able to stop Vector from contacting him completely. Whatever we are capable of doing, I think it's better if we split up and use our talents to the best of our abilities. We know Zebron much better than Vector does.
So you're going back to the Corsairs?
And you hear Tessa behind you. Not just them.
You're beating me to it, Squee! What? Tessa?
They're gonna need help finding Dad.
Yes.
I'm going to help them.
Anna's gonna look at Indigo like, you fucking told?
Indigo looks at Anna and says, I'm sorry, but this is not the time to keep secrets.
You could have given me like 5 minutes. Like, I was just like, just the second you guys said that, I was already thinking, just like 5 minutes.
Indigo like kind of shrinks back a little bit, not sure if like there's a punch coming or. And she says, I'm sorry, Anna, but this is serious. We all know how serious it is. Tessa would find out sooner or later, and we need the help.
Well, you already know I'm okay with this.
Tessa says, really? I thought that, good. Right.
I was going to wait till we're on Zeberon before I suggested it, but...
What? Suggested what?
You know what? I'm just happy for you.
Tessa looks, and she kind of looks a little confused. She says, just to be clear, I'm going to help them track down Dad.
Fuck, I forgot about that part. Yeah.
If you think that I'm going to hide in some sort of safe house, you're wrong.
No, I was going to hide you in the Corsairs Academy.
I can't find Dad from there.
Sway, I feel like we might be talking about two things. Are you joining the Corsairs, or are you just going back to Zebron?
Joining the Corsairs?
Fuck!
She looks very surprised.
Okay, well, Okay, when we got back to the future, I was going to suggest that maybe you join the Corsairs in some format, partially because they would protect you, and partially because they would teach you how to protect yourself, and also in recent events would throw them off because nobody would expect me to let you out of my sight.
Well, the last part I agree with. I mean, I'm not opposed to it, but now's not the time. It takes, what, years to become a Corsair? We don't have that kind of time.
Well, that part was before Vector.
Right. Well, I mean, I'll be with two of the best Corsairs, and you hear like Indigo cough like ex-Corsairs. Right.
So is my dad coming too?
Of the best ex-Corsairs. Indigo looks at Isaac.
Isaac is ready for a punch.
What? Indigo like crosses her arms. And what exactly am I?
It was a joke. You're one of the best Corsairs.
You're damn right I am. She uncrosses her arms.
Jeez, everybody's so serious.
Jeez, I wonder why.
Lucas has been slacking. He's making his backstory. You can't blame him. So in Cyber Success, so like I said, normally, and we're hoping, getting to Zebron is not easy. It will take him time and resources. We got lucky. There's another Corsair group that we know that's willing to give us a lift back. Maybe that'll give us a head start.
If you are going to go in, don't kill him without me.
Cyber shakes his head. No, I would not put Tessa in that kind of danger. Or any of us. We may have been a bit rash when it came down to hunting Simmons. Emotion may have gotten in the way there a bit. But I can assure you this time I'm approaching the situation with a clear head, and 3 people are not going to take on a syndicate. Not head on. We'll be careful.
Are you going to evict us or just to Zebron?
We're going to start in Zebron, and we'll see from there. But from what I understand, from what Tess has told me, your father is not on Zebron.
He better not be.
We'll see what the Corsairs have on him, if anything, and we'll go from there.
Oh, Tessa, just keep an eye out. If Sam was on Zebron, at least, there could be at least other workers there.
Right. Do you want to give him a message if I see him? Your undying love? Marriage and kids?
Definitely not that.
She kind of gives
Please
him a smile.
not that. Really? You think I should have kids?
She thinks about it. Well, I was joking, but...
If the answer is not no, I'm slapping you.
Yeah, maybe not. Anyway, be careful, all of you.
You too.
And Tessa will hug Anna tightly.
Yeah, returns hug.
And then she'll go over to Kid, and she'll kneel down in front of Kid. and she'll say, I can't pretend to fully understand everything that's going on, but there's at least a chance that we share a mother, right?
I mean, technically.
Then, as far as I'm concerned, that makes you family. Keep my sister safe, and keep her from doing anything stupid.
I can keep myself from doing stupid things. What are you talking?
Anna does not break eye contact with Kid.
Tessa.
Tessa.
Oh
Tessa,
my
sorry,
God.
Tessa. Yeah, Tessa does not break eye contact with Kid.
I mean, Jesus. Kid just looks at her and goes, I mean, I make no promises on that second bit, but yeah, I'll do what I can.
She nods. And then she tries to hug Kid.
Oh my God. Kid, like, pauses for a moment and then, like, just kind of accepts, but it's obviously very awkward.
Right. And then she releases Kid. And she stands up, and Cyber goes, would have been nice to say goodbye to Ryle, but I suppose we'll see everyone again. You guys stay safe.
We'll try.
And with that, they
Oh, shit! No, wait!
turn
Actual
back
in
around.
character words coming out of
Yeah,
Kid's face.
they'll turn back around.
Kid is going to ruffle, I guess, then through their bag and pull out some sketches that they made over the trip of some landscapes and I guess people, a lot of gnomes in there. And they're going to hand those pictures over to Cyber 6 and say, because we couldn't take any pictures.
Cyber 6's eyes grow wide. Like
They
you see the
extend.
server. Well, like because I was trying to think how you describe it, but like his servers widen to where his pupils become bigger in surprise.
So dilate.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
And he looks through some of the pages and he says, This is amazing. Thank you.
I messed up on the circle.
It's
But,
great, Kid. Thank you.
Welcome.
And yeah. Keep everyone safe for me, huh?
Kid nods, and then they very quickly, very awkwardly, like, hug Cyber 6's leg, and then they let go and run over to the others.
Yeah, like he understanding Kid better than some, he pats Kid on the shoulder, but not, not enveloping or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then he turns to go, and they start heading out, and he stops. He goes, "Oh, I suppose I should be asking both of you, if we run into your mother, any message?"
Was this directed towards Kid and Hannah?
Yep.
Tell her I love her.
Oh my God.
Cyber 6 holds a thumbs up at Lucas.
She hasn't been in my life since I was 6, so not really much to
Understood.
Yeah.
Kid thinks for a moment and then looks up at Cyber 6 and says, "Tell her I'm hoping to do her proud."
I will do so. And with that, they turn and they disappear into the crowd.
Parents' pride, what's that? Not projecting at all.
So Tessa, Indigo, and Cyber 6 head through the crowd and disappear very quickly. Headed back towards Zeberon. Doo, doo, doo. Never to be seen again.
Fuck you!
All right. So you guys continue on your way towards Gateland. And you get to Gateland, you purchase your tickets to the planet. The planet is planet Keaton with a C. It's just Ceetin. It is a small planet. Well, it's average size, Earth size, but small mining colony. Mostly miners working there. Not very rich. Not a place most people go. The Gateland itself even only has a portal there because it's used for shipping. As I told you, there's a very valuable metal alloy that you find on that planet that's fairly rare. So it has a gate to expedite shipping, and it's valuable enough that it warrants keeping a gate in Gateland.
Does this mining company have any connections to that one that we kind of broke into?
No, it's not. It's not even just one mining company. There are several companies invested in it. It's more of just one mining colony.
Is the one company we kind of messed with on this planet?
I don't know. Well, I know. I should not say that. You could research it. Roll me an investigation check.
Okay. 24.
They have a small presence, not a very large one. They're first of all, they're not really a mining company. Secondly, their official exports are more in precious metals and gems, not in metal alloys.
Okay.
So they have a small presence there. They have an embassy. They have a small department there of maybe 20 some odd people. Nothing large.
Okay.
And the colony itself has about 100,000 people. So.
Thumbs up.
All right. You buy your tickets, which, by the way, everyone, I believe I told you last time it was 2,000 per person.
Yeah, I already deducted that last session.
Perfect. So you buy your tickets and you start, kind of meandering through the lines, and you start turning down to the hallway to this portal, where it's actually fairly empty, as there's really no one that goes back and forth to this planet very often. With the exception of the mining shipments. And up against the wall, you see someone sitting down with their knees drawn up to their chest, wearing a black robe and a large rimmed black hat that's pulled down over their face. And
Okay.
their face seems to be turned downwards. They're not looking up. Maybe they might be asleep or just sitting there staring at their lap. It's hard to tell, really, in the voluminous robes and hat, but you don't see their face.
Do they smell familiar?
Not to Kid. No.
Well, then Kid doesn't care.
Lucas, you don't have that kind of smell.
Oh, kids just meandering forward with all their shit.
Like, do they look like a beggar, or are they just kind of hanging out?
The robes are clean and nice. So they definitely don't look like a beggar. Besides, beggars would not be allowed in... It'd be like having beggars in an airport. That's just not...
I think that's going to stop some people.
Well, yeah, actually. You don't see many beggars in an airport. There's security.
This is supposed to be a reference. It's going over my head, so I don't know how to act on this.
That's fine. You don't have to.
I remember. Burn, you have the ability to remember everything.
Yeah. Is this a reference, Squee?
You don't know. I mean, the robes. I mean, here's the thing. You remember everything up to a month. And
Right.
yeah. I mean, the robes are familiar enough, but I mean, they're black robes and a wide-brimmed black hat. You could see that anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. I keep my guard up around them.
Sure. So you guys continue. As you're walking past, a familiar voice from under the hat says, God told me to be here. Told me that I would find my purpose. And they look up, and you see the face of Father Retu, the Christian priest that Lucas made friends with on Center, that made him the
dog
giant,
priest?
yeah, the woven priest.
Oh my god.
That made the giant ass crucifix.
Yeah.
Well, that blessed it, didn't make it. He's not a metal worker. He blessed it. And he stands up and pushes back his hat. And you see that under his black robes, he's wearing metal body armor and has several weapons attached to it, mostly things of vampiric fighting nature, vials of holy water, wooden stakes. And last you remember, you left him here on Center. He was going to continue the fight against the vampire coven on Center.
Yeah, but hold on, Squee. Is my vampire radar going off?
No.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, nope, no vampire radar going off. And he pushes back his hat and he said, "When we meet again."
Father, as Lucas jumps at him and tries to hug him.
He'll accept the hug and he'll hug you back heartily. He'll be like, "Well, that's quite a warm welcome."
It's been too long.
It has. It's good to see you well. I am not sure why you are here or why I was called to be here, but I am sure that I was, and here you are. This cannot be coincidence.
That is true. Who exactly called you? Because at the moment, there's been quite a few people who have been gearing up to come after us. So we're a bit on the edge, you see.
He points up and says, "The good Lord."
No, he's
A week ago, I was praying and was given a sign that my purpose being done here on Center for, I don't know if you know, but we have wiped out the vampire coven. More or less. I was praying for new purpose. If I were to continue to stay here to shepherd souls to the good Lord, or if I was needed elsewhere. And I was very clear that I received a message to be here at this day, at this time, ready to travel.
Okay.
And he looks from face to face. The Lord works in mysterious ways. But perchance are you in trouble or in need?
A bit of both, but have to say, there's a lot to go over.
Well, if you don't mind me accompanying you, I'm sure there's plenty of time.
Kid is going to kind of pull on Lucas and Isaac's respective sleeves, kind of pull them away from the wolf and mumble, "Is this Lord guy someone we can really trust?"
I have no idea.
Well, as far as I can tell, he's very hard to get in contact with him. I haven't been able to.
Wait, hang on real quick. Isaac, you're a Christian priest.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure we're talking about the same Lord.
This guy is specifically saying, hey, he literally said something to me, right?
Got you. Right. I just want to be sure we're clear. I didn't want there to be a misunderstanding. So you're aware. You're still gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Is Isaac Catholic or Protestant?
I don't fucking know.
No.
Listen, I'm agnostic. I'm barely trying to keep this together. Okay.
I mean, if you're going Catholic, that's not that weird, because that's a very saint thing to happen.
I am non-denominational. Thank you very much.
Look, all I know is medieval history, like, and the Anglican Church. Like,
good. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I just wanted to make sure that there wasn't a misunderstanding there. It doesn't seem like there is. You are on top of it.
Yeah, I understand, but the thing, like, he would totally believe the father.
Right.
But the thing is, he's literally saying somebody talked to him, which Isaac has not had that yet. At least not from a god.
Understandable. Right. Sure.
Yeah. That's my thoughts on that.
All right.
That's fair.
So Kid asked if the Lord guy was the guy you can trust, and Isaac's like, I don't know.
I don't know. Normally I would, but he seems real suspicious.
If he's talking about the same guy, I think he's from what I hear, he's a pretty cool dude. Lucas then pauses for a second. I thought you were Catholic.
I thought he was Atlantean.
Okay.
Out of curiosity, is this within earshot, or would you have pulled them out of earshot?
Kid was planning to pull them out of earshot, but at this point I feel like it's going from like actual whispers to stage whispers to like normal level talking.
Then you would hear, "Oh, you're Christian? I didn't know. It's so rare to find one of the faith here."
I'm from Earth.
I have not heard of that place. I'm sorry, but the universe is very big and wonderful.
Okay. Just, okay. And as a note, I don't know specifically what it's called because, like I said, I'm agnostic. But he believes in the story and all of that. But he also like he's Christian or Protestant or whatever it is. I just don't know. But he also understands that there are gods because we have encountered them. Right. So he still believes in his god, but he knows that there's others, and that confuses the shit out of him.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So, God, that would certainly call into question that book you read all the time when you were a kid.
Yeah!
So, yeah, I'm with you. So
yeah, that first commandment got really weird once he got to.
So is
space,
it fair to say? Is it fair to say that your it went from faith to fact, and that's jarring in many ways?
Oh, absolutely, and it has been jarring for a long time because I mean,
certainly.
we played gods.
Certainly.
Yeah.
So he'll see the response and he says, I am making you uncomfortable. My apologies. My enthusiasm got the better of me.
Fine.
I understand this couldn't seem odd. Not many people claim to hear voices from a god. All I can tell you is that I have devoted my entire life to him, and for that, he has granted me favors, very tangible favors I have used to help rid this place of vampires. It is not often, but we do converse.
That's fair.
And he looks to the rest of you. I'm sorry, I don't know some of you. And he'll hold a hand out to Anna. I am Father Rhett.
Anna. And she'll shake his hand.
Pleasure to meet you. And he'll hold his hand out to Kid.
Kid stares at the hand and then looks at him and narrows their eyes.
I see. Well, shaking hands isn't for everyone. Be that as it may, perhaps there's a way I can allay your fears. I am not sure what you're facing, but as I said, I do not believe in... Well, I believe in coincidences, surely, but I do not believe this was one.
So what do we do with this information?
I would like to travel with you, help you if I can. I don't know how much help I could be unless you're planning on fighting a bunch of vampires or converting souls to the faith. But I do know some healing, and I can be pretty useful in a fight as long as the reasons are right. I'm also not a bad singer, too.
You're hired.
God.
Okay.
Wrong phrasing. We don't usually pay out, but we could be close friends.
I thought that we already were, Lucas.
Closer friends.
He steps closer.
I see. Well, I admire your enthusiasm. But I'm afraid I must inform you, as a priest, I have sworn myself to a life of celibacy.
Okay.
Is that a fish?
No, it's not a fish.
Oh.
It means that we can be good friends, Lucas, but nothing more than that.
Lucas tries to find in his mind, it's more than a friend.
What hard in the
Can't think of
eye
anything.
are?
Lucas shrugs. I don't think that's a problem then.
Good. Good. Well, then, friends. How may I help you?
Oh, Lucas thinks for a bit. What are we doing?
We're trying to go back to Frontier Station. All
We're
we want to do.
leaving.
That.
Kid starts walking toward the portal.
All right.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm already packed, ready to go. Have a ticket and everything. So,
Convenient.
Mm-hmm.
well, actually, I was feeling a bit foolish until now. I was told to be at this place at this time, and no one comes here if they're not planning to travel through the gates, so I thought it wise to purchase one, though, to be fair, I've been waiting here for several hours and was beginning to think I had misunderstood the message. We don't have much at the parish. $2,000 for a ticket is quite a sum. I would have felt very foolish indeed.
Well, we have a great cook.
It's
I
true.
see.
So you
Oh.
don't have to worry about food.
Well then, excellent. And with that, he'll reach down and pick up a large glaive that is on the ground, and the glaive itself is about as tall as he is, which is right about 7 feet, and the tip is made into the shape of a crucifix. Like the handle is the bottom part, the top crossbar is the crossbar of a crucifix, and the glaive blade itself looks like the top of the cross. He picks it up and he says, "Well then." He just waits patiently.
Let's go.
As you guys make your way through the gate, you have teleported a couple of times now using these gates, so you're familiar with the sensation. And you end up finding yourself on the planet Keaton. I don't actually have a picture of it, so I'm just going to throw you guys into space.
Yay! Where we always wanted to go.
Where is...
Oh gosh, what doodles have we left on space?
Space.
I don't think that's the right one. Nope, that's not the right one. Give me a second. I gotta find Frontier Station.
Yeah, you do.
Um,
Didn't think we're gonna be there so soon.
yeah. Nope, those aren't it. Well, I'll just keep going then. Here, I'll throw you guys over here. You guys pass through the portal and you walk through a gangplank. There's a platform that the portal is built upon, and it leads down into a muddy village. The roads are dirt, though at the moment they are mud. As you see up above you, the skies are dark gray and it is drizzling rain. You look around you left and right, you see a very industrialized settlement. People going about the streets dressed in durable clothing, wools and cottons and leathers, going about their business. The town itself is very much what you'd expect from a mining colony. Many workers, many houses crowded together. They're all prefabricated houses. It's clear they weren't built here. They were probably transferred here and put together once they got here. And no one seems to really notice or pay much attention to you all arriving. And you walk through, and you just start to feel the rain drizzling on your heads.
Is that normal, Squee?
Is what normal?
The raindrops.
I
Or am I
mean,
not supposed to be feeling them?
it's normal when you're on a planet for it to rain, yes.
Oh, okay.
Raindrops have fallen on my head.
Sorry, continue.
Sorry, Hagen just bought lunch for me for tomorrow, so that was very nice of her.
Nice.
Yes, so I still can't apply and find Frontier Station. Why can't I find Frontier Station? Anyway, so yeah, no, it's normal enough for it to be raining when you are on a planet. Where do you want to go? Oh, I named it Start. That's why I couldn't find it.
Convenient at the start of the game.
Right? I mean, you think, I bet you anything I named it that so I knew exactly what it was when I saw it, and that did not work out well. All right, so where are you guys, where are you headed from here?
Frontier.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're just gonna go and jump on whatever we can to get to Frontier.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you make your way down the muddy streets, and the second you step off the metal gangplank, you sink about 3 to 4 inches in the mud, showing that it has probably been raining for at least several days. And it's a bit slow going, as there are no paved roads in this colony, and it is literally like walking through a mud swamp. I would like someone to roll me an investigation check with advantage, just to act as the group's kind of looking for where you would need to go to purchase.
Wasn't rolled yet.
Investigation. I got a 4.
I have a 9.
That's pretty good.
I have an 8. So go for it. 9 advantage.
Ooh, investigation.
Okay.
Oh,
Ooh, that's a nice
my.
crit.
I did it.
We know where
So-
to go.
So you begin asking around for a ship port or a place to purchase passage off of the planet, and you kid
Mhm.
you're asking around and you're being very blunt, and it turns out that works very well with these people because they're working people. They don't have much time for
That's
fancy
not false.
conversations or indirect topics. So the fact that you just kind of go up there and bluntly ask kind of fits their demeanor very well. And they kind of point you a couple directions, and you guys start marching off. And you ask one person, and it's a tall woman, probably in her late 40s, though her skin is still fairly smooth. She's got long blonde hair tied up in a bun that's pulled tightly against her head, and she's wearing what looks like piloting leathers. Anna, you would know this at least. And she goes, "Passage. Yeah, of course. I know right where it is. I was actually headed that way myself. Where are you headed exactly?"
Frontier Station.
Frontier Station.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, I was headed to Noble Station to drop off a shipment. Noble Station is well, not exactly past Frontier Station, but it's not too far out of the way. If you don't mind, not the most comfortable ride. My ship isn't exactly designed for passengers, but if you're looking for something cheap, I'd be willing to take you for not too much more. It'd only be a day out of my way.
How much are we talking?
She looks at you. Oh, 300 credits a person would be fine. If you go up there and book passage with them, you're looking at least double.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. What about you guys?
I love it.
Does that mean we can get going?
Yes.
I hope so.
Absolutely. Right this way. If you can give me about half an hour to finish loading up, we could be on our way. She holds
You
up a
need
hand.
help loading?
Well, I should say, I'm not going to ask too closely or look too carefully, as quite honestly, I could always use the money, but you're not running from something, are you?
No.
Or towards.
Towards isn't bad. All right. Well, I'm Captain Piggins, and she holds up a hand, not as a handshake, but just like brings it up to the level of her face, showing you her palm. And she says, "You are more than welcome on my ship. And thank you for the kind offer, but no, of course not. I would not make paying guests help me. I have deckhands for that. Deckhands who I pay far too much for as it is, that can do it themselves. If you would, come this way. I'll show you the ship."
Ooh.
And Piggins leads you through the muddy walks, and she looks as you guys begin walking. She looks at your shoes, and she goes, "Oh, you don't have shoe covers. You
No.
didn't know much about this place before you came here, did you?"
No.
No. It was just
We weren't
faster.
planning on staying for very long, Kid says, and looks down at their bare feet.
Right. She nods. Well, next time you come by, there are many shops where you can purchase shoe covers that will help. And you'll see that on her feet, what looked like at first to be like thick leather boots actually look like more like socks that you would put over your shoes. And she leads you through the muddy streets to a small port that has about 4 pads, of which 2 of them have ships, and one of them is a ship that she walks you towards. It is a freighter vessel, Not as big as the Second Chance, a little bit smaller, but it's very blocky. It's very clear it's designed to lift and carry freight. And she motions to her and she says, "There she is, my lovely ship. She's not much to look at, but she's reliable and cheap, and accommodations are comfortable enough. It's a 4-day journey to Frontier Station. I'm sure you're aware."
Works for us.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Well then, and she'll walk you to the ship and start walking you up the ramp. And as you get closer, you see the ship is it's old. It's probably a good 10-20 years old. You can see the aged parts, but it also Isaac.
Yeah.
Roll me. You know what? Roll me a tinker proficiency.
Tinkering?
Mhm.
Fantastic.
Roll
Kaboom.
me vampire sensing.
All right. You can tell just by looking at the ship. It's old, but it's well taken care of. The parts are stable. It does not look like it's in disrepair. The items that need to be clean and kept free of grease are. So it looks like an old, well cared for ship.
Sweet.
And
you know that Hart and Isaac are going to be talking about the ship for
yes,
pretty much the entire time.
Hart's just got stars in her eyes. She's just looking back and forth, and she goes, "Is this a Mark V?" And Captain Pickens goes, "Yes, good eye. It's a Mark V. They haven't made them in Hart goes, 15 years. I know. I took one apart once. Brilliant engine. Oh, you're a mechanic." And Hart like stands up proudly. "I'm not a mechanic. I'm the mechanic."
And the entire time that she did that, Isaac said that word for word without he mouthed the mechanic part the entire time. Yeah.
And
Right
Pickens goes,
behind her.
"Oh, okay. Well, perhaps we could modify our agreement if you're not opposed. Uh, this old girl could always use a bit of work. Perhaps, well, perhaps we could, instead of paying for your passage, trade services for services."
Can.
And Hart looks at Isaac hopefully.
He immediately said can.
Yeah. She goes, "Excellent. Well, great. I was going to say that I didn't know if you'd brought your own food, but you could eat with the crew for an extra 50 credits per person, but it's fine. Let's not worry about that. Let's just come aboard. Welcome aboard." And she kind of leads you up the gangplank inside.
Are there any boxes that look like they need to be brought in?
Yes, there are several crates that look packaged and sealed and waiting to be carried in.
Kid will start carrying them in.
Like Captain Piggins will see you like walk over to it, and the box is like goes up to your chest, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, "Oh no, that's way too heavy. It's full of metal." As kid, you just easily lift it up.
Where do you need it?
Okay then. Right. And she like directs you in as this 4-foot tall creature picks up a box that probably weighs close to a ton.
Mm-hmm.
And she ushers the rest of you inside and shows you sleeping quarters. It's very much a mining vessel or a shipping vessel. It's not what you would call luxurious by any means, but it's comfortable.
They don't have silk sheets. God.
No silk sheets. They have bunk beds in the rooms that have actual mattresses and sheets on it. No real showers, but there are sonic showers, so you can use sound vibrations to clean yourself. She'll show you the mess hall, which is very much a what you would expect in a freighter type ship. You know, the floor is all grated metal. The benches for eating are all metal built and screwed into the floor. The kitchen is serviceable. You know what I mean? You're not in the lap of luxury, but it's
So it pretty much just looks like the Firefly.
cleaner, but yes.
Yeah.
Not as cluttered as the Firefly, but yeah, that kind of aesthetic, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, kid doesn't give a shit.
And it's bigger than the Firefly is. So it's not as like if you've seen the Firefly, everything like all that space is so efficiently used. Like the bathroom is also your sink and you fold it into the wall. It's not like that. It's not quite that cramped.
Okay.
But as you guys can settle in and get your gear together, Captain Piggins will show Hart, and I assume Isaac you'd be going with her.
Yep.
Show her the engine room, where Hart immediately just starts investigating and picking at things and saying, "Oh, we need to repair that." And you don't by chance have any spare coupling D4618s, do you? What we have would be in this closet. Captain Piggins says, like, obviously she has no idea what Hart's talking about. And she's
Isaac
like,
just rips open the closet and starts taking everything out, laying it right next to each other on like a towel or something.
Right, and she goes, "Oh, okay then. Well, this has been a very fortunate day, I suppose. I'll leave you to it then. You're not you're not going to destroy my ship, are you?"
Hopefully.
Right, because I mean, it did just occur to me that I know nothing about any of you, and I have just made a deal to take you there to repair my ship. And no, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. If you need anything, I'll be in the pilot's seat.
Isaac just waves.
And she leaves you to it.
You know, it's funny because that's the normal reaction that most people should probably have about like giving leeway to a stranger in their, essentially home and vessel.
Mhm.
But by the end of this, she's going to have pretty much a brand new engine.
Yep.
So it's and you could Isaac, you could tell this is like she seems like this Captain Piggins, either a very trusting sort or maybe a fires from the hip kind of sort. Because it was like as she was saying this, it was occurring to her. It's like I just made a deal that gave these people access to my engine room. It'll be fine.
Yeah. It's
Honestly, those are the
fine.
kind of people we keep around us.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll all work out.
You know, the funny thing is, I trust her more than the priest right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand.
I mean, her creation was a nat 20, so.
Mhm.
Yep. That's true. Yeah, trust the dice. Always trust the dice. And with that, you guys they load up in much less time now, as Kit just carried one of the boxes in, and there were only like 3 of them. So you guys begin your 4-day journey. I'll explain the journey itself, and then I'll defer to you guys to see if there's anything you want to do during it. But the journey itself is fairly uneventful. As you are in the ass end of space, that's to be expected. That's why Frontier Station was built. Paw specifically, well, he didn't build the station; he acquired it. Quotation marks.
Yeah.
But Frontier Station was built simply because it was out of the way of major trade lanes. It was not messed with very often, and that pretty much goes for this whole area of space. Noble Station, Planet Keaton. It's all in the ass into space. So very uneventful, kind of boring trip. The crew seems to be pleasant enough. Captain Piggins turns out to be a pleasant, upbeat captain or woman who's more than happy to have conversation. She eats with the crew. She certainly doesn't view as herself above anyone, even though she does give the crew themselves a hard time, saying that they're, like they're slackers and they don't work hard enough. But she does at the same time tend to take care of them. One thing you do notice is the food is very high quality food.
Good.
So it gives the impression that this captain may be very much a shoot from the hip, maybe not exactly the most careful, and she looks like she gives her crew a hard time, but she also doesn't skimp when it comes to what comforts she can offer.
I like her.
Isaac and Hart. I don't actually have a character sheet for Hart yet. I need to make NPC character sheets for them.
Could
but
I just roll tinkering with advantage?
Yes, and I'm gonna add 2 to each roll because we'd be technically using hers.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
So whatever the result is, +2.
+2, correct.
So 29.
Okay. 29.
Yeah, 19
right.
on that. Sure.
So, there are some issues in the engine room. Just issues that are common wear and tear. The ship is old. Hart will explain that the Mark Vs are great little ships, but this coupling is known to give out, and it's little oddities. But you are able to repair pretty much all of the damage with the spare items you have, and for the things that you don't have spare items for, you and Hart jerry rig it, as that's
Yeah.
kind of Hart's specialty.
Yeah.
Is making it work even if she doesn't have what she needs. And not literally, like you were saying, a new engine, but I mean pretty damn close. This is Hart we're talking about. Hart, who's now helped by Isaac, who's no longer bad himself.
Mhm.
And in 4 days, that's enough time to pretty much tune up the entire ship. The engine room, the circuit patches, the piloting systems, get alignment on the thrusters. I mean, you're able to give pretty much the whole ship a good workover.
Yeah.
Far in excess of, like, if you were to build this, man, Captain Pickens is getting a hell of a deal.
Mm-hmm.
These repairs would cost a hell of a lot more than what would it be, like 1,200 credits that she was charging you?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. But Hart seems happier than she's been since you left the second chance. She is in her element, and there's nothing she loves so much as, well, I mean, maybe Isaac. Other than that, there's nothing she loves so much as being up to her elbows in grease in an old engine room.
So we basically just took in a really old Honda and dropped a really spiffy Corvette engine in there. That's what we basically did.
One thing you will notice, Isaac, is that on occasion,
Hmm?
most of the time Hart uses her hands for everything, but on occasion, if there's like a bolt that's just too hard to get to, or just not at the right angle, her hand will actually open up and a tentacle will extend and she'll get it done. Like, she will use the cybernetic parts of her hand on occasion.
Yeah.
And roll me an insight check while you're at it.
Oh boy. Boom. 9.
Okay.
God, boy.
She
So
appears.
insightful.
I know. She appears more comfortable with the arms. Not fully comfortable. Like, she's not, like, you could tell there were tons of times she could have used the enhancements, but she doesn't.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell though if that's just because she's always used her hands or if she's not 100% there yet. But she's comfortable enough that she's not going to inconvenience herself and not use them when needed. But yeah, other than that, you two spend a pleasant couple of days together, or several days together. What about the rest of the crew?
Just trying to busy themselves. Be useful if possible.
Okay.
I guess Lucas would entertain the new party member.
Oh, that's a fair point. Okay, so let me handle Kid first. Kid, define busy yourself. Or would you have asked how you could be helpful, or what would you have done?
They would ask if there's anything that they can do, because A, they're bored out of their mind, and B, They don't trust the new guy.
Understood. Yes, actually. First things first, kid. I'm sorry, I forgot to say this when you were on center. You could have gotten, if you wanted, your gold exchanged into credits.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have it written down how much gold you had?
Several pounds.
Right. If you don't have it written down, let's just say 6 pounds. No, wait. It would have been more
I
than that.
thought it was
Yeah,
way
I
more
feel
than
like
that,
it was
yeah.
like
Yeah,
15 some odd pounds.
Yeah. Okay.
Or
So
something.
let's play it safe. Call it 16 pounds.
Okay.
Exchange rate for a pound of gold on center is about 40,000 credits per pound.
Jesus Christ.
Gold
Well
is
fucking done.
expensive as balls.
Yeah. So we got
So we should have got some balls.
640,000. Oh. 640,000. Hot damn.
Yep.
Kid did it good.
Yeah. Is that going into the group funds, or do you want that into your own funds, or what?
Group funds, why not?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's actually like a pound of gold in today's currency is like $18,000 or more. So thinking about that in credits wise, that's so about 40,000 a pound.
Damn.
Cause inflation. So yeah, you have that. So you're no longer having to lug around 16 pounds of gold, or that giant chest.
Oh no, whatever were they going to do? That's just so much effort.
So eventually, at first, the Captain Pickens would be like, "No, of course not. You're a paying guest. You don't need to work. That's very kind of you offer." But once you make it clear that this isn't an offer of charity, this is I need to keep busy.
Yes, like at first they're just like, okay, fine, and they're just like pacing around, and like then they just start laying on things, just like, oh my god, I hate this. How long is it going to be? Are we there yet? Please tell me we're there.
After about half a day, she relents and she says, "Well, I noticed that you're very very strong, and
I mean, I guess
I also noticed that you have well, I'm just gonna come out and say it. You've got claws. Are they very sturdy claws? So there's something that we could help with. It's not exactly a very glamorous task per se, but those crates that you helped carry in, they have a metal alloy that is unrefined. It's still attached to many chunks of rock from which we mined it out from. Normally, we sell it like that for a reduced price, as they will have to smelt the rock off of it. However, the less rock that's attached to the metal alloys, the easier it is to sell. If you really desperately want to help, and it wouldn't hurt you to do it, if you could scrape the rock, separate it from the metal, it would be very helpful.
Kid starts walking towards the crates.
All right. Roll me a dexterity check.
Oh boy.
You can do this. You can do this. Come on.
Oh.
Come on, little
Oh.
bean.
Oh.
All right. So an 8. So I mean, it's not like it's hard. It's not like you fail, right? You open up the boxes and you see exactly what she's talking about. The metal alloy is very easy to tell. It's silver and shiny, right? The rock is not. It's a slate gray. So it's very easy to tell the difference between the two. And your claws are not that we quite use that terminology anymore, but mega damage claws. This is SDC material. You are not going to hurt your nails. You're not gonna break a nail or anything. So you're able to do as she asks. It's just not very refined. You're able to get most of it off. There's still bits of rock attached here and there. But for the most part, you can spend the majority of the time clearing the rock from the metal alloy. And I think it'd be fair to say that even while it's not exactly a brain teaser by any means, there is a level of concentration and dedication that needs to be put into it, that you could actually throw yourself into if you wanted to try and if I'm going to do this job, I'm going to do it right, and I'm going to get this, and I'm going to get that off, and I'm going to make sure I shave it without hurting the alloy, and you could really kind of waste away the hours through
And that's
manual
the
labor.
point.
Yep.
Kids just by the end of the day is surrounded by little chunks of rock. They're just covered in dust.
Yeah, kids now a slate gray as she is coated in a fine powder of rock dust. Lucas.
Mm-hmm.
Much of the time, Father Retu would be catching up. He'd be asking what's happened to you. He'd be letting you know what he's been going through since the many, many months. It's been probably close to a year since last you saw each other. Not quite, but close. He would have told you of the war with the vampires, because really at the end it was nothing short of a war. The vampire coven, as you were aware, had grown to several hundred secondary and wild vampires. And Father Retu had to acquire the help of mercenaries and people of Center and the guard to wipe them out. It took 7 months to do it, and it was several months of hard battling, of which he got a few scars. He doesn't brag about them, but you can tell after a couple days, some fresh scars that you hadn't seen before. But they were able to, through a bit of trickery, draw most of them out and wipe them out in one giant battle about 2-3 months ago, of which they wiped out the whole coven with the exception of the master, who escaped somehow. They'd never found her. And then after that was pretty much had been his whole 7 months. Waking, sleeping, and eating was campaigning to remove this vile evil from Center. And once that was done, he spent the rest of his time recovering, as he'd been gravely injured in the battle, and praying for what is to be done next. As he told you when you found him, he had been content to just shepherd souls to his Lord, or really what more often was the case is to just provide comfort to those who needed it, as most of the people who walked into his church had no interest in converting. They were just looking for a counseling of sort, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
But after the war with the vampires, that just didn't seem to be his calling anymore. So he prayed for many weeks as to what he should do next, and that is when he was given the message to meet you there, according to him.
Right. Lucas would definitely listen along and whatnot, and he'd go, "Oh, did that we gave you a pressure gun water thing?"
It was incredibly helpful for about 3 months, and then I'm afraid it was either the gun or my head.
Oh, well,
But
you still have that. Be maybe a bit too much to ask for it if you still had it on hand, but we might have been able to fix it up.
I wish that I had been able to keep it. Unfortunately, the early days of the battles with the vampires did not go very well. I had never actually faced them before, and we didn't really know what we were dealing with. Your friend, Isaac, of course, gave us some finer points, but being told what to do and experiencing it are two separate things. There is no substitute for actual experience, I suppose.
You should have seen us. We had we had a run-in with them before. I got some first-hand stuff, and I had, I think, like a 5-minute crasher course on things. Basically told to put that down and pick up that other thing.
He nods. I can sympathize. The good news is that in the end we adapted, and we eventually overcame them. But the early days were not something you would write ballads about.
Oh, how many got out? I knew that
Got
there
out?
was a few, what are they called?
Oh,
They had hostages.
Yes, the hostages, the familiars, we called them. Not many. It's a sad thing. We were able to save a few by knocking them unconscious, and last I heard, they are recovering, going through therapy, trying to learn to live a normal life again. But many of them were... Well, you see, vampires are terribly evil creatures. They would use their familiars as shields. As I said, it was a terrible business.
I see. Oh, let's see. Any other demonic things that we came across? We did see a demon.
You did?
Yes. Kind of a little dude, kind of became a medium-sized dude, and then like a really big dude.
Demons are known for their deception. I am not surprised. And we could say, like, how much would you have told them about your adventures?
Not entirely too much. Lucas has found that like over detailing things might not be the best at these particular points. But he would generally say like not specifics, kind of on the vaguer side of things, unless like specifically detailed to something that he think that he would care about.
Sure.
And probably not say even like just chunks of the event. Probably nothing about the freaking like robot area or whatever.
Sure. Would you have told him at all about the certain devil you met?
He probably would mention about the devil, yeah.
Like maybe vaguely, like not where you met exactly, but
Yeah.
that you met him, and okay.
Yeah.
He would his eyes would light up at that. He'd say, as I'm sure you have mentioned his name?
Name. Do you have one?
He did. Roll me an intelligence check.
Right.
Yeah, you'd remember because he was very, very fond of reciting it. His name was Boz.
Oh.
And man, did he love to tell people.
I don't think you would mention the name.
Okay. His eyes would light up at the mention of devils, and he would say, "Ah, yes, there was a story about them," and he would pull out a small book that, to just save time, it's his space Bible, and he would flip through it, and he would recite for you a story in the book where there was a great battle between demons and devils. Obviously, this is not in the regular Bible, but as Isaac might be well aware, Christianity has changed over the millennia, and what Father Rhett believes and follows in his holy book is probably familiar, but certainly not the same.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Has different stories and different philosophies and different things, as things are wont to do in time. But yeah, he does recite to you a story about a great battle between demons and devils. So he thought it was interesting that you met one.
Yeah, we've met quite a few evil things along the way. Surprisingly, no good ones. No angels came down and said hello.
He nods and he goes, "Well, perhaps that just simply means that we have to be them."
we do that? Can we just be angels?
Not literally, I
Oh,
don't think.
well,
Though
all right.
anything is possible, I suppose.
You could be a stripper named Angel.
Lucas could cast a suit of armor that has wings if he wanted. But he said not literally, I suppose. But I mean, being an angel is more about what you do, not what you look like, right?
Lucas thinks about it. Says in his mind, "No would be the correct answer."
Obviously not, old man.
But why would I break his spirits?
But yeah, you pass a pleasant few days with him, catching up. He surprisingly doesn't attempt to persuade you or make you read the good book or anything like that. He doesn't do any proselytizing. He simply catches up and spends time with you and has conversations.
Lucas would actually point out, though, that there is a person that is after our particular little group, that we're trying to get an upper hand on the situation. Looks like we might be in a bit of trouble without our ship at the moment.
I see. Well, either, and he pauses. I'm not sure I would be called for such a simple. I'm sorry, I don't mean to make light of it, but if it's that is the only thing that you're dealing with, I'm not sure I'd be needed. But one never knows. Perhaps this foe that you face is greater than you know, or perhaps defeating this foe will lead to something else that is more important, or... I'm sorry, I'm sounding very insulting when I'm not meaning to be. Let me say this. I will help you however I can, including defend you, as long as you are fighting for your life and not doing anything immoral.
Lucas thinks for a moment. I think this is probably going to be more serious. So when somebody said immoral, I think somebody yelled at me about that word and some other ones and some mean ones when I went out drinking and didn't quite remember what happened on that night. Should I just not drink? I try
He laughs. Drinking is fine.
okay.
I simply mean that if you intend to harm someone who does not deserve it, an innocent, I will not help you in that.
Oh, that. Yeah, no, you should be fine then.
Excellent. Well then, I'm curious to see where this journey takes me.
Lucas looks over. Honestly, me too. Looks like it's going to be quite the Lucas thinks for a second. I'd say a tiny war over a small. What was that man in for? Couldn't have been more than 2 months.
Well, in my experience, and from what I have read, some of the greatest wars in history were started by small events.
Well, hopefully, this won't be a war. This guy'd be quite the dummy to actually go that far.
He'll nod, and he'll lean back, but you never know. You know, there's rumors that the nasty business with the Splagorth a year back was all started due to one vendetta against someone's brother or something of that nature. Just goes to show how much things can spiral out of control.
Lucas thinks for a bit. Is that over or is that still going?
It's over. The Splagorth have signed a treaty. I think that they decided it wasn't worth their time and effort to conquer all of us little people.
Fair. I mean, we go everywhere. You can't just. There isn't a blanket large enough to cover this. Was it cluster? There's
Yes.
3 clusters, right?
Yeah, there are. 3 galaxies.
Enough smart talk, smarty.
All right. So yeah, you guys spend your days doing that. Anna, what do you do?
So my computer froze, she says in text.
Oh yeah, I'm reading that now. Uh-oh. Well, we'll get back to her then later. So 4 days later, you guys arrive on Frontier Station. You land at one of the docking bays. She luckily tells you don't have to pay a landing fee, as she's literally just going to be dropping you off and leaving again, and that's called a stop off, and they don't actually charge for stop offs.
Oh, cool.
So she lands in the shuttle bay, a Frontier Station, and she goes to all of you who would probably be getting your things ready to go, and she'd say, "Well, I feel like I owe you, actually. Your friend and you did an amazing job. The ship is purring like a kitten."
It's no problem.
Right. Well, if you ever need transportation again, let me know, and she'll give you like contact information for her.
Oh, fantastic.
It's the least I can do. Well, be safe, have fun, and hope to see you again sometime.
Hope to see you too.
Okay, bye. Kid walks
She'll
off.
nod and walk back up the gangplank, and Captain Piggins and her ship will depart Frontier Station. You guys are left standing there in one of the docking ports.
Woo. So
Oh.
where did we put the ship?
In long-term storage.
More specifically, in PAW's specific long-term storage, we're only given access to directly from PAW. Well, I'm sorry.
I thought we weren't
permission
allowed
directly.
that.
You were allowed to put your ship in there.
I thought we weren't allowed to. I could have sworn that he said I would, but I have my own things.
And what did you put in there? Hang on.
We
I
put
have
it
my
in
notes.
long-term storage, yeah, but not in pause long.
Okay, maybe I'm misremembering
That's what
that
I
because I thought you
remember.
put something in PAW's long-term storage. Either way, it's not. It's really irrelevant one way or the other.
I mean, if
We'll say paw.
honestly, if it's up to me, I would love to have it in pause stuff because that's way more secure.
No, I'm now that you say it, it makes more sense. That he would have said that. I'm just not finding it in my notes. It doesn't really change a whole lot. The only difference would be, do you have to go see Paw first or not? So really, because his long-term storage is secure, more or less, either way.
Yeah, we probably should see
But we'll
Paw
say
anyways.
we'll say it's not, which means you could go straight to the long-term storage, or you could go see Paw. A heart definitely wants to go see him,
What
but
do
it's
you
up
guys
to you
think?
guys.
Hamidi, I think about nothing. Both of these events seem minor, and things that I personally don't think is candy or something else that's fun, like pinwheels.
What?
All right.
You heard the man.
I'm thinking we just make sure our ship is there. Then go mess with Paw.
Okay.
By mess with me.
Pranks. He means pranks.
Just prank, bro.
All right, so you guys make your way to the long-term storage. You meet the guy at the counter there, and you give him your ship, basically your ship ticket, the equivalent of what that would be. And he would nod, and he'd say, back in the back. I'm sure you know the way.
Yeah.
And you make your way back towards the Second Chance, your lovely, lovely ship. And as you approach it, you can see that the outside of it is not how you left it. One of
Okay.
the legs that holds it up, one of the landing gears, is snapped in half. The one of the side ones, the right side one, so it's kind of tilted on the right. There are several scorch marks on the outside of the hull, and there are a few dents that are there. And roll me an investigation. All of you, go ahead and roll me an investigation check.
Okay.
Oh, man, Isaac, you may not be good with those insight checks, but
Oh,
You can
Investigate.
investigate with the best of them.
dude, it makes total sense. He doesn't understand what the fuck's going on, but you know what? He can find something.
I will say between Lucas, this isn't really something you care about, I guess.
It's not pinwheels or candy.
But between Isaac and Kid's investigation, you're able to piece together a rough story of what's happening here. It very much looks like someone was trying to gain entry to your ship.
Yeah.
And trying really hard. But many of the outside personal security systems that Hart installed on your ship many moons ago have been triggered, and by the signs of blood that are still around, been fairly effective.
Good.
Hmm.
Fuckers.
Making it so that your ship they were unable to gain access to it due to these security measures and must have eventually given up.
Yeah.
So
let's do a small recap for
Sure.
Mackenzie.
So hi, welcome back, Mackenzie.
Yeah.
First things first, would you have done anything of note during the 4-day journey?
Probably not.
Okay. Then you guys landed on Frontier Station. Isaac and Hart fixed up the ship really, really well. So the captain felt like she owed you guys something and said that if you ever need passage again, to call her.
Which is great.
And then she left you to your own devices. You guys went to go to long-term storage to find your ship and found out that someone had attempted to get into it very hard, to the point where one of your landing gear has been snapped. There's several scorches on the outside of the ship. It looks like made by explosives, and a couple of dents that look like they were made from cutting torches, things of that nature. But the personal security systems that Hart had installed in the second chance before you had met the group did their job beautifully and managed to prevent entry. So the damage to the ship, while I would definitely not call it superficial, it does not look like anything major other than the landing gear has been damaged. It doesn't look like any of your weapons or subsystems or anything of that nature have been damaged. It is structural damage and the landing gear. You'll have to, of course, get it repaired, but it's nowhere near as bad as it could have been. I mean, given how hard they were trying to get in, without these security measures that you installed, there's a good chance they might have taken the ship.
Yeah, good luck with that too.
They fucking tried.
Open it up. There's no engine in here.
Well, there's still an engine. Someone could still walk into the ship and fly it if there's no one on the other side to prevent that. The main engine's still in there. To them, it would just look like the ship originally looked.
Yeah, completely empty, all of that stuff.
But that said, the advantage is that if you guys are in your pocket dimension, you can override any of those controls. But if you're not, then
okay.
And we could vent the atmosphere.
You could.
Woo! Well, he agrees with that.
Paranoid Anna is gonna do kind of, I guess that's another kind of tailing check around the ship, just see if anyone's watching.
Sure. Give me a perception check.
Yep. 20.
You see, you kind of looking around, trying to not be too noticeable. You do see one person about 300 feet away by another ship leaning up against it. They seem to be a little too interested in what you guys are doing.
Can I make out any details, or are they too far away?
300 feet's pretty far. They look female. That's about all you can tell. Human, definitely, or human-like.
Under her breath, she's going to say, "Act normal. We might have company. only one so far. After also turning her back to the person as well. So they can't like read her lips or anything.
Lucas will go. Give me a direction and I can see what I can get a jump on them maybe.
Might be better to make it seem like we're still oblivious.
Okay.
Just be aware.
I have an idea.
Uh-huh.
It's a bad idea.
Squints.
And a lot of blood and bullshit. And he's gonna be waving his arms around and everything at the blood and everything. If I were to like cause a scene with that, scare off.
No, I don't think it would. It would just be more to information to give.
All right. So
I will say I love the idea of Isaac pulling a I need to speak with your manager.
Yes, that's exactly
But,
what I
yeah.
was thinking.
well, now that she's pointed out, all of you roll me perception checks.
God damn it.
Perception. Fucking
I'm not
25.
very good at
Holy
perceiving.
shit.
Kid did better than me.
Kid's looking real good, and Lucas doesn't give a shit.
I was told not to do that.
Kid, your eyesight's much better. You can see her pretty well. She's young, maybe in her early 20s, blonde hair, way too much makeup, pretty. She's wearing what looks like a space jumper, space coveralls. And she's certainly watching you guys. And she's also talking on a small receiver in one of her hands.
Kid watches her for a moment, but it's more like they're kind of pretending to just look around in general, like blank child staring around, bored out of their mind.
Gotcha. You'll notice as you guys are discussing what to do, 4 other people come out from around the ship and they begin walking towards you.
Threateningly?
No, not so
Are
much.
they
They're
snapping?
Just walking towards
Oh my
yes,
god.
they're in rhythm.
Could I try and read their body language, see if it's
Sure, roll me an insight check.
intent to harm? Oh god, +2.
You can't tell. They're humans doing human things.
Yeah,
Damn
weirdos.
humans.
Kid will finally turn around and say, what'd you say, there was 5 now?
Yes.
Yeah, there's 5 of them now, and they're walking towards us.
Neat.
They don't make any hiding of it or anything like that. They just cover the 300 feet towards you guys, and then about 50 feet
during
or so.
that,
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of tempted to say maybe we should get the others on. So there's
Yeah.
Okay. So who are you putting on board?
at the very least Hart, because I don't want her there. Sarah.
Sure, it'd actually be fair to say that Hart would have already gone into the ship to examine the inside, just to be sure.
Just get both of them in there.
So Hart and Sarah. Cathor, out or in?
Out?
Cathar can choose.
Yeah, it's up to them.
Cathor would be staying outside just in case. What about Father Retu?
Ooh, he might have some issues with our immorality.
Yeah,
You don't know that. You weren't there.
Yeah.
Lucas would probably give him a heads up of like, well, it's either can go one of two ways. Either that's Paul's people and they're checking up on us, or these are people who want to harm us.
Well then, let us hope for their sake they're not the latter.
I like him.
And he just kind of stands there, leaning the glaive against his shoulder, not threateningly, just there. And when the group gets about 50 feet away, Lucas, they look familiar. And you hear, holy shit, it is him. Well, look what the cat dragged in, Lucas. Lucas, you remember so long ago
I do.
were part of a crew and you left that crew unceremoniously to join the one that you're with now?
Yeah.
This is that old crew.
Weren't you fucking one of them?
Was.
Yeah.
A girl in her early to mid-20s with long blonde hair that wears too much makeup.
Yeah.
And we'll end the session there.
Oh my fucking god.
Yay!
Well, all right then.
Oh my god. Okay.
You didn't think your past wouldn't come to haunt you, did you, Lucas?
I had a feeling
There should
they
be
would
like
come.
like 30 groups. Wait, no, most of them died. 20 groups.
Your
10 is
choices,
not most.
your choices have consequences.
I'm going to stop streaming here. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.